to catch up. All right, so I'm going to do something very brave here. I'm going to go live while my kids are all doing schoolwork. One of them is Zooming. 3 of them are doing classwork. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this succeeds or not. So who knows? If there's bandwidth issues, I do apologize. So I wanted to show you guys a couple of things and then make you aware, if you weren't already aware, that I am doing a end of summer sale right now. So in light of that, I decided I would go back, and I always leave some images aside that I'll kind of come back and edit later. Like anytime I go on a trip, there's like the initial ones that I throw out there, and there might be some that I liked immediately, but then there's others that I decide I'm going to hold off for whatever reason. There's lots of different reasons, but at any rate, a lot of the times they end up being panos, which take more work than just another image per se, because a lot of these are comprised of multiple images. So in the case of the one I'm going to show you, it's like 5 different images. So the end resolution is quite huge. What I'm going to show you is just printed on paper because I just finished this. Fresh off the presses. It's just being added to my website. And this one I think is really cool. It's one of my favorite locations that we went to this summer. And this is from Pica Lake, rather. So this is printed on luster paper. And like I said, this is a pano. Get it up there. So this is 18 by 12. Obviously, this image will support, huge, like what I've got on the back wall back there, that huge. That's like 10 feet long. This guy is the resolution required to print that large as well. Now, obviously, you don't have to print it that big, and I didn't in this case because, as I've discussed before, I always proof everything before I put it on my website just to make sure color and everything is good. Fortunately, I've got gear that's normally it's right on. So in this case, this is exactly what I wanted. And I think this is really cool. My wife has titled it. If you haven't listened to some of my other videos, my wife titles all of my pieces. I'm terrible at that. I take the photos. She names them. So this is Tranquil Descent. And she really thought, the clouds kind of directing your eye down into the reflection of the mountains in Pica Lake. That was an apt name for this piece. So this is available on metal, acrylic, anything. I generally think like most of my stuff lends itself to metal and canvas. The acrylic is cool. I'll show you some. If you haven't seen them, I'm going to just kind of show you a couple of the different options. But, like I said, you could also do like a luster print. Now, while I'm doing this and streaming, if I've got a couple that I've printed, and any one of these prints, if you want, DM me, and I will sell you a print of one of the ones that I've printed for today in light of the sale for $50, which is much lower than I normally will. So these, because they're just sitting around, $50, hand signed, and this can be yours or any one of them. If this one doesn't speak to you, have a look at some of the others. Okay, so this I just posted today on Facebook and Instagram. This is another pano. So this guy's about 5 images as well. And this is actually from Red Lake. And if you look really hard, you can see my nephew jumping in the water in the distance, freezing his ass off. This is the lake that I posted a video, and he's over there making mac and cheese right now, so you can hear me talking about him. So I posted a video of him jumping into this particular lake. It's super freezing. On a day like today, you can see me just like sweating, and that's just because it's so damn hot here in California. And we don't like to use AC. Of course, we use some AC, but it's not our favorite. So, but it's hot. So it would be really nice to take a dip in this bad boy right now. This is Red Lake. It's actually right next to Barney Lake and Pica Lake, which is where we went backpacking in the Sierras this summer. I took the kids and everything. They had a good old time. This is also a pano. And the thing I like about panos is it gives you a different field of view than you can normally get. I'm going to hold this down slightly. Facebook is going to get cropped a little bit. It's just a slightly different point of view because you're stitching together multiple images. This is not a field of view that a regular lens would get you necessarily. This is much wider, right? So like a 12 millimeter wouldn't even get you this field of view. And that's the same with, the previous image that I was showing as well. It just gives a kind of different look and they're kind of fun. They also lend themselves then to crazy high resolution. So you can print them very, very big. So this is Memories of the Mountains. And this is also up on my site as of today. Brand new, just posted. And again, DM me and it can be yours. Okay, so then my favorite. So these are all like in a mountain theme, mountains and water, nice cold Alpine water. So this is Frozen Moment. I posted this maybe a week or so ago, or 2 weeks ago, I think. This is probably one of my favorites. This is at Pica Lake. And it's just a really, really pretty spot. This is on luster paper, right? But so all of these, I think, canvas, which is what you see back there, right? That's a canvas print. Those have like a nice thickness to it. They're 1/2 inch. It's a little softer. And there's no reflection on those. Then there's like metal. This is a matte metal. You can see there's still a little bit of reflection, but it's way less. This is, kind of the detail as far as how these guys print. And it's cool. They've got these little like shoes on them so they won't mess up your walls or anything like that. But this is the other medium that I think, my work probably goes best on. You don't want a ton of reflection in a lot of these. Now, you can do an acrylic. And some of the stuff, I think like Star Trails and stuff like this guy, they lend themselves to that. But again, you can see how reflective that is. And I prefer it to be, a lot more matte. So they're totally cool. But I think it's also like the acrylic for the price, it's like super expensive. I'm getting a phone call. But it's not a work day for me. Monday is my day off. The acrylic, they're very expensive. Whereas like this with the summer sale, something like this guy, this is from Utah. This is Slot Canyon, Utah. I think it's, super pretty. This would normally be like 120. So it's like, $90 or something like that now. Whereas the luster prints, right? These size, this 12 by 18, size, these would normally be about 110 on my site. And if you buy it off the site, it would be like $75, $80. If you hit me up, DM me privately, it would be 50, right? So only for the ones that I'm showing you that are printed, I'm not printing additional stuff. So this is another, you may have seen this one. This I've posted on Instagram and Facebook. This is Reaching Dawn. I think this is also another one of my favorites. Chase, who's making the mac and cheese right now, had to move so I could take this photo when we were camping because this is where we ate our dinner. You had to move so I could take a lot of photos. Yeah, he's always in my photo. It's really a problem. It's a occupational hazard on his part. And again, this is a 12 by 18. This is Barney Lake. So that's the sister lake to Red Lake. Like this is the bigger lake. And then there's a stream that feeds in to Red Lake, which was that second pano that I was showing you. But this, I think, is just a really beautiful photo with the pink hues and stuff like that. This is very typical like Alpine color. After the sun has set behind the peaks, you get these like pinks and purples in the clouds when there are clouds in the sky, which is really nice. So that's Reaching Dawn. So you should have seen this guy. This is Alpine Calm. This is my August print giveaway image. The one that will come will be a little bit bigger than this guy. It will be hand signed. It's actually quite a bit bigger than this guy. So this is Barney Lake, same lake as the previous image that I was showing you, but different. We're in like a different location on a different day. So that day I was fortunate enough to have real clouds, and this is a little bit earlier before the sun's completely set. You can see it actually like blowing out the sky there in the distance. Again, very cold water, would be very nice to visit at the moment. And available on my site now for acrylics, right? Or metal and canvas, which would be my preference. You can also get the paper prints, like these, luster paper, and you can frame it. You can also select whether or not you want to do an edge like this, or you can print all the way to the edge. I would recommend doing a bleed like this, simply because, well, I would mat them. I've shown a matted one before, but I would mat it, and this gives you a little bit of edge to mat with, and then it keeps the aspect ratio and the image, kind of as was intended. If you print all the way to the end, then when you mat, you need to come in a little bit, and you're going to crop just the edges of the images, which is fine. It's not a huge deal, but you can order them specifically like that. Okay, so this guy is one of my favorites from Oregon. This is a particularly foggy morning on the Oregon coast. And I was just kind of wandering around looking for just kind of these monoliths, basically, in the fog. Normally there's so much going on this particular beach. This is Harris State Park. There's so many of these rock formations. It's hard to kind of pull out one from another, but the fog was so thick that you could very easily see, where you're getting like these two, which sit next to each other. And there were a ton of them right behind it, but you couldn't see them. So it kind of allowed me to call out the things that I didn't want to see in this kind of very minimalist composition, which I really like. A lot of the other stuff, is very pretty, no doubting that. But this is a lot more like minimalist and understated in a way that kind of speaks to me for sure. And that's also on my site. So you guys have seen, just fly through some Joshua Tree stuff. The last time I went live, I think I showed these. This is Neowise Comet, right, at Joshua Tree. This, I don't know, this might not be available on my site yet. So you might have to DM me to get this one. It might not be there yet. I haven't added a lot of Joshua Tree stuff. I did add some star ones. I added this guy, right? This is Desert Trip, as my wife aptly named it, which, it's kind of a trip to look at. But I like, this type of photography I love to do. It's like an exercise in patience to take photos like this. This particular shot went on for 2.5 hours. I was also off, shooting other Milky Way photos at the time in a different area. And my buddy, Carl Lammy, and it's at Island in the Sky is his Instagram account. He's really good, great photographer. I would check it out if you have a moment. And he happened to move his car off in the distance, and he didn't direct it at this tree, but just the indirect light illuminated it enough to light the tree for me. And I went back later to check it and to light the tree myself, and realized I had 2 images that were already lit. Perfect, just the way I wanted them. So shout out to Carl for lighting the tree. Excellent job. He's the best lighter with car headlights in the middle of the desert, should you find yourself needing that particular occupation. So again, Desert Trip, this is 12 by 18 luster, but of course it's available in anything else. This guy is a favorite of mine. This is Encroaching Dawn, and this is again in Joshua Tree. The sun was just backlighting these grasses in such a beautiful way. They're so delicate. They just, had this glow, and you can see everything else is dark, silhouetted and black. And just these grasses lit up, and then you have like all these cool details in the sky and everything, which, was super beautiful. So this also, Encroaching Dawn, another from my summer travels. All of these are from just this summer and going around and doing stuff. I don't even have anything from Utah, actually. Well, actually, yes, the one I showed here, this is Utah. But there's plenty others also from this summer, right? So this is 12 by 18, again with the bleed, again on luster paper. And that's Encroaching Dawn. That is on my site. And then last one, which this is maybe one of my favorites. I think I said that about all of them. Chase, am I saying that a lot? I feel like I say that. Like, yeah, apparently they're all my favorites. They're all my favorite child, and I can't pick a favorite. Except for on any given day, you can pick a favorite. Is that a bad parent thing to say? So, on any given day, all right? So, this is in Malibu, and Veronica, my wife, went out with me to take this one, and it's what this is Lone Outpost, and you've got the Milky Way and one of the famous Malibu lighthouses hanging out in the background, or hanging out there. And I like this shot, particularly because, Veronica was there with me. I dragged her out in the middle of the night, so she had a good time doing that. And this is the last shot of the evening. So she's sitting there cold, and I'm taking this one. She was not happy about it, but it did yield a cool photo. So, no harm done. But this is also luster paper, right, with the bleed. This would look super cool on the metal prints, right? Like something like this material with like a star trail. Whereas some of the others, I think, like really lend themselves to the canvases and stuff. The metals and the canvases are about the same, price. I think like star trails and, star photography, it's got a nice look on these metals. A lot of these are, so fresh off the press, I haven't even gotten my prints back, the ones that I've ordered and sent out for. So I can't show you on those materials, but I'll have that coming very shortly. So you have to take my word for it. They look kick-ass, right? So yeah, that's all I wanted to show. Again, end of summer sale. The code is summer30, all one word. And if you put that in at checkout, it'll get you 30% off. If you DM me on Instagram or Facebook, whatever you're on, I will sign and send one of these over to you. And I always also throw in a little extra special gift. I have lots and lots of things printed around the house. So 50 for any one of those with a DM. And then everything else on the site is, marked down 30%. Bringing, like I said, anything like this would be, $70, $80, something like that. So thanks for taking the time to listen, and I hope you have a good day. Any questions, hit me up in the comments. I will have a look, and I'm getting texts. I probably did something wrong or messed something up. So I'm sure it's a friend commenting. All right. I will talk to you guys soon, and have a good day.